Hey, this is Alex Head, founder of Subtext Radio.
This is Subtext.
Please go ahead and click the like button and the subscribe button. It really helps us to reach new audiences and promote the artists that we work with. Hit like and hit subscribe. You're listening to Subtext on Threads. In this short interview with David Clark, artist and educator, I just wanted to mention that the Nina and Edna, to whom I refer to in a very casual, conversational way, are Nina Preda and Edna Bonhomme. Edna Bonhomme, of course, of Decolonization in Action. A little bit of radio gossip. Nina Preda also made the artwork for Decolonization in Action. And the flagship Subtext Investigates show, which we're discussing at that point, is Assembling America. You can find that in the archives. Thanks for your time.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm all right, man. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Day 14 of my quarantine.
Okay.
And no problems. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
So everything's up in the air.
What have you been doing in quarantine?
Oh, it's actually pretty much everything I've been doing in my artist residencies, really. Just working, writing, doing some radio shows. I got a few radio things kind of out there. Doing some collaborations. Writing. And it's going to be a durational work, I feel, like this next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's definitely an arc we're entering into that
yeah,
we're going to have to... charming phrases like face to face have entered the lexicon of educators.
Uh-huh.
But one of the classes that I'm actually thinking would be a perfect class. I taught this grad seminar called Technologies of Experience.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, yeah, well, we are all experiencing the world through the technologies of experience.
Yeah.
And I'm actually kind of enjoying kind of thinking about that as a kind of a way to kind of proceed through something productive we could actually do, because we have to be very conscious of part of the class really was kind of like just accounting for the historical shifts and changes, either sudden or more subtle, that were happening through technology in our culture. Yeah. Anyway, I've been enjoying listening to your shows, and there's such a... I went through your links that you sent me, and that's such a variety of things that you're doing.
Yeah.
It's very inspiring. I've actually listened to the nature one, the Australian artist one, twice now. I think it's something really invigorating about it.
The Felicity Magan one. Yeah.
No, it's all it's kind of it's interesting how much you I kind of like feel like I'm just doing the same thing, but the variety and sort of ambition of what you're doing is really admirable.
I appreciate
it. Journalistically, academically, sonically, collaboratively, it's really so much going on.
Yeah, I was really lucky to kick it off in the ZKU, I think. That's also a reflection of being there and people being kind of amazing and coming through, and also just layering it on top of traveling and stuff, and having a kind of public art practice that it was trying to somehow accommodate and not like replace or kind of make up for or whatever, but just kind of work adjacent to. People who are into radio are like, there's also a relationship with public space there. There's kind of a concern. And I think that concern is like what comes over in some of the more journalistic stuff as well. It's like, well, if you really pushed on that kind of idea of what's important to people, or like how is space constructed and how does power work, then it would sort of be journalism at the other end. But it's not very often I get to do the journalistic stuff, and it's all been completely spontaneous as well. I mean, that Assembling America was like, we were just in the States, in the South when
stuff went
kicked
down.
off. Yeah, like it was kicking off up, literally kind of, relatively speaking, up the road, and we were in Louisiana, and I was like, well, we're at a plantation museum, there's no way I'm not interviewing. Like I have a fucking opinion about this stuff, even though it's not really going into the show. It's like I feel like I want to talk. And then it was just again having Nina, who's American Austrian and just really knows her stuff, and Edna. It just came together, and I don't think you could have ever planned that, because I think it just felt like it was in the moment, and it had to happen. And that's why it happened. So,
that one felt very much like. Also, the in some ways you're seizing the moment and sort of doing what journalists do, which was try and get out there and get tape and stuff. But it also felt like the show had a lot of space and a lot of moments of kind of it didn't have to be a journalistic take. There was no. I enjoyed that quite a bit about that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, there's a lot of things I guess were building up over the years, and then like Nina she was at the she did a residency at like the Radical Folk Music Archive in New York. I guess like a year prior to moving to Berlin, and so like all that music, like Frank and like Nikki DeBee and all that stuff, that came through from her research as well, and it was just it was really natural actually. Putting it on tape and like it's 2 hours. I mean, I probably wouldn't try and do a 2-hour show again. It just kept going and going.
But that you can is one of those permissions that radio, I guess outside of the mainstream, allows you to do.
So we would be really pleased to air the Artist in Residence show. And like you have people doing residencies in like Staples, and I don't want to give too much away, but like there's some border action going on and all kinds.
Well, the inspiration for it, because it was another one of our evenings of improv where I just said, okay, this is the improv. I just want you to make up the weirdest artist in residency that you can. But the inspiration was that I'd heard of this residency that was set up in a hardware store in Paris. And so people were invited in, and they could go and take whatever materials that they wanted and construct an installation or some kind of sculptural piece in the store. And the kicker was that they didn't tell the store. So there was this website where there was all these like this resident did this piece, and there was these like beautiful installations where they would take a bunch of rope and make this thing. And then the other inspiration is it's the Ben Guy Israeli video artist who made a soap opera in his Stealing Beauty in IKEA's.
Yeah, of course.
So I kind of wanted to play with that idea of provoking, and of course the other thing is now everyone's an artist in residence. It's like
that's what I'm saying.
We're suddenly locked into our houses and being asked to amuse ourselves.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here?
Nothing to see, nothing to see, nothing to see.
Experimental radio produced by NSCAD University.
You are listening to Nothing to See Here, a program of experimental radio from NSCAD University. This episode is called Artists in Residence.
So I just started my residency at Staples Business Center with the sound of office equipment, which is what I'm studying and exploring right now. So basically I'll be here for the next 3 weeks, looking at chairs mostly, trying to... Yeah, that's nice. See that nice mid-tone right there? You only get that from a Lazarus heavy-back fiber optic ZX12. Yeah, so, right now I'm really in the exploratory phase of it. No, I can't help you buy anything. I'm sorry. I'm here on residency. I'm doing art. Customer, they made me wear the red shirt, actually, and I technically have a manager who, has given me, sales quotas and that, but really what I'm here is exploring the office furniture, figuring out the timbre of it. Really, it's fascinating. I think next week I'll be starting with the desks and specifically the drawers, wooden versus metal, and then we'll have some sort of symphony. But I gotta go. My 15-minute break is up. Self-imposed break. I don't work here. I'm on residency.
My name is Paulina Levitt, and I am doing a residency in a dumpster outside of Shoppers Drug Mart. Initially, I was hoping to be placed at a larger business. While Shoppers is still a chain, Walmart was one of the businesses I had initially set my sights on. I was really interested in exploring waste and many of the things that are thrown away that are perfectly good, such as these empty bottles of various pharmaceutical products. Broken glass is excellent for drawing blood. And a number of other things. I'll get into that later. These are fantastic. I don't even know what you would call them, but I regularly get them dumped onto my head in large quantities on a daily basis. The acoustics in here are really interesting. When it's empty, you get this really metallic kind of clanging, especially when they throw the first load of trash in onto you. I'm not an audio artist, but if I were, I would explore that aspect of it. It's a little... I am trained as a traditional painter, so venturing into the scavenged materials field was a bit of a stretch for me. I'm outside my comfort zone. I was really trying to push myself, I mentioned about drawing blood earlier. There is no source for paint here. I use what liquids are left in bottles. And old receipts for paper. I'm producing a series of paintings at this point from discarded carbonated beverages and packaging from the post office that's inside the drugstore. It's a fantastic experience.
My name is Sally Saunders, and I'm here in the Iowa State Penitentiary. I decided that I wanted to experiment with the place where art and the criminal element interact, and where art and danger interact. So I decided to construct a beautiful painting out in public in cooperation with a gentleman that I met. What I did was beautiful. It was lovely and red and extravagant and all over the buildings and the windows. I thought it was phenomenal. Apparently this is called manslaughter. My lawyer, he thought it was amazing. But unfortunately, the jury did not agree, and I've taken up residence in the state pen. My roommate right now is not the most fun. She's very large and she doesn't like me very much. But during my free time here, I love to sneak away while the other women are working out in the gym and try to continue making my pictures on the walls of the bathroom stalls and the showers and sometimes I make little, what I like to call fun staffs, and you can take your toothbrush and carve a sharp pointy end and then use that to explore the defensive arts against the other inmates. And sometimes it's called a shank, but I prefer a defensive art piece. And I've decorated most of the space with them now. I think it's coming a long way.
Your crew, head on the checkpoint. Your crew, head on the checkpoint. Do so now. 8105, 8105. Checking out the speaker. 2609, 2609. You also need to check in at the speaker. 1701, 1701.
I've taken up an art residency in the borderlands between America and Mexico. Every day I listen to the winds and I try to learn the names of the plants and the feel of the desert beneath my feet. And yesterday I saw an old man wandering with a horse, and both of his eyes were missing, and he was very old. I've started making collages with grains of sand and putting them into the different spaces on this border between these two very different places in the mountains. The mountains are just stinging wastelands, and I feel them calling me, and I try to climb, always in one direction back, always on a line. And there are men, and they drive in very fast trucks, and they have weapons, and I have to hide from them because they're hunting me. I fear for my life, but I'm learning. I'm learning to hide. And I'm learning about art.
My name is Andy Sanchez. I'm doing an artist residency at the time being at the intersection of Yonge and Dundas Street in Toronto. I mean, literally in the intersection, like the middle of the intersection. So basically what I do is 4:30 a.m. set up my studio in the middle of between the traffic lights. But it's Toronto, right? So there's always people around. So I'm primarily a performance artist. My performance background is based in theater. I am quite proficient at procuring disguises that are convincing. And so I began my performances. Just lots of people that come and go, including policemen, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, special services. The longer I stay, the more of them I tend to see. My strategy for returning is that I leave don a disguise and return. I adapt new performance techniques that are totally unlike those of my previous iterations, so they are none the wiser as to my identity. I gotta go switch up there's some cops coming. I'll see you later.
So last night, I was camped out on a small enclosure of rocks, and I looked back, and there was a small fire maybe 5 miles away. And tonight, again, there's another fire. This time, I know that they're following me. I know that they're after me. In the other direction, I see 19th century ruins of a church, probably Spanish, and that is where I'll make my last stand. That is where I'll make my art. And the hills will scream with my art. I don't know who they are, but they're following me. I don't know if they're part of the artist residency. I don't know if they've been sent here to stop me from making my art. I've been collecting sharp stones, and I am going to climb the ruins and plant a decoy fire far, far away from the ruins of the church, and I'm going to leave the ruins of the church late at night when the moon has risen, and I will go for their fire, and I will find them, and then as they plot, I will kill them. And that will probably bring my project to another level. But it also begs the question, begs a question, doesn't it? It begs some sort of question out there. I don't know. Either way, they're out there. The fire is very large. I don't know how many of them there are. But, yeah. Okay, I don't know.
My name is Cyril Buxton, and I'm a curator at the Institute of Land Art in London. And I have undertaken an interesting project with some of my colleagues from Bulgaria and Australia and South America. We're doing a very interesting curatorial project. We're taking a sort of anthropological approach to it, where we're following artists, we're tracking them, and we're following them and seeing them from a distance, so that we can really see how they operate, in the natural environment. Very interestingly, we heard about this artist who's doing a residency on the border between the United States and Mexico. We've been tracking him for some time now, and we think that he's making a breakthrough. We've seen him in the hills, and we're following him up. But tomorrow we're sending a video crew in to check out the latest excitement. We're considering him for a biennale, and several people have talked about even triennales, and I think we also have a gentleman here from the Institute of Paris in Tokyo who's talking about a quadrangular.
My name is Jill Henry, and I have a bit of a traveling residency this year. I move between local public restrooms in clubs and restaurants, and sometimes I even sneak onto university campuses. What I do is I like to leave short inspirational messages for those who are using the washroom. Like, you are beautiful and you are a strong, independent human. I absolutely love what I do, and, sometimes when I'm having bad days, that comes out in my art too, and I'll, write curse words on the bathroom walls. I've heard from people who've observed my art that honestly the curse words are just as satisfying and entertaining to them as the inspirational messages. I feel like my art has really hit a new pinnacle and crossed a new boundary.
Oh, another trickster. Fantastic. Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Tallulah Cohen-Morris, and I'm doing a residency in unsuspecting civilians' personal, private household washrooms. I've heard of artists doing similar residencies in public. Yeah, that's been done already, I've always been a bit of a trickster myself. For me, the break-in is a huge part of the process and the project itself. And oh my God, it's the thrill of the entry into this as an interloper in this private space. It's usually the dead of night when I enter, and I don't bring any of my own materials. I typically take a roll of toilet paper and I wait in the bathtub behind the curtain with the curtain closed until I hear someone coming in. And that's when I work. That's when the inspiration is the flow. I can't stop the flow when it starts flowing. And sometimes I pull the curtain open and surprise them, and they usually have a very strong response, generally fairly positive. At least from my perspective, in terms of generative processes. I take the rolls of toilet paper and I'm collecting them in my own personal apartment at this time. The residency, though, is funded by an external body. I can't reveal the specifics because this is a little on the less than legal side. But art is art, and you can't let the little old law get in the way. You know what I mean? There was one incident in which an elderly gentleman was startled by my performance in his washroom, and I'm waiting to hear if he will be returning from the hospital. It's not looking terribly good at this point, but in the pursuit of art, perhaps it was worthwhile. His family does not agree.
Hi, my name is Barry Reginald Tyrilliger O'Keefe. I am a dancer. And this summer, I will actually be starting a traveling residency of beehives across America. As you know, bees do most of their communication with dance. So me, myself, I'm wanting to take my dance to the ultimate height it can be, and I will be learning from them. I'm expecting many challenges with these beehives. Going from hive to hive will be hard. Getting in to the hive will be hard. Usurping the queen will be hard. But we will get there. I have government funding. I have training from all sorts of beekeepers. We are ready to go. Bees are beautiful. Bees are magnificent. As I said, they communicate through dance. And that's what I really want to bring into my work now, is to see the movements, see the tap dancing, see the rhythm. If you don't mind the pun, but there's going to be some buzz around this residency. It's going to be fantastic. Thank you very much.
Well, for my final show, I'd like to examine the ultimate interaction between violent defiance and escapism by not being in this prison anymore. And I can't give you too many details about how that will happen because then it won't happen. But I can promise you that it will be graphic and quite entertaining. And I hope that everyone will experience my escape in some way or another, and then I'll cross the border into Canada.
All right. So I've been working in it's an underwear factory in Antigonish, Nova Scotia.
And I've been working here as part of an artist residency program. And they've had me on the line, and I'm just sewing underwear together and making sure that it's good for people. And they tell me that in a while I'll be able to really get some input on the underwear up the line. But it's long shifts. I've been here for a very long time. I'm getting really good at it, and I love it here. They really nice to me, and we have we go for bingo, and it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place, and I'd hope someday to be able to be up top in the big room making the underwear decisions. Someday. So I came to the city of Missouri. Grew up in Missouri. I didn't have much of a childhood to speak of, but I've been going to residential G Sports, and it's a really visceral feeling I get, and my work has to do with ceremony and just the gentle feelings of laughter that these spaces bring with me, and I go there for ritualistic and ceremonial needs that I create inside of the tree houses. And I've been going to each tree house in a residential area, and I have been taking of the domestic animal life, and I have been assorting them, and I have been arranging them, and I have been posting them in the tree houses. I didn't have a childhood in Missouri, and my work deals with the idea that these tree houses represent a space where people don't live, and I want to show that through these grotesque animals that prance about no more in the tree houses. And I've been going treehouse to treehouse. And I've been getting some press. I've been getting a little bit of press, and I think that the work is going very smoothly.
You have been listening to Nothing to See Here, experimental radio from NSCAD University. This episode was entitled Artists in Residence. The performers in this episode included Raph McDonald, Jessica McDonald, Maeve Mulroy, Mark Hines, and David Clark. Nothing to See Here is recorded and produced by David Clark at NSCAD University in Halifax. Sound design and mixing is by David Clark. For more episodes, please search for Nothing to See Here Radio on SoundCloud. Please friend us on Facebook at Nothing to See Here Radio. And join us again next week for another episode of Nothing to See Here.
And then, so like the other show which we're going to air of yours is the Butterfly Told Me.
Oh yeah.
Maybe you could
well.
like walk us through a little bit that one, because that one I just love what you've done with the visual stuff, right? So it's a super visual show, which is great.
Oh, thanks. Again, that was a period when it all comes out of these improvs. And sometimes we know what we're doing, other times we don't. And both of those two shows had a very specific kind of provocation. And the provocation in that one was like, okay, this is radio. How do we evoke color? Or what would be a radio color?
This episode is called Butterfly Told Me.
Butterfly told me there's 7 colors to a rainbow. I said, yeah, what the hell do they know?
And so this is how he divided up the spectrum into these 7 colours. Newton did that not for any objective reason. He did it because he had an almost mystical belief that there should be 7 colours. And the reason for that belief was that he thought there should be some analogy between the spectrum of different colours and musical notes in a scale.
A butterfly told me. A butterfly told me. A butterfly told me there's 7 colors in a rainbow. And I said, what the hell do they know?
Death, be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful, for thou art not so. For those whom thou think'st thou dost overthrow, die not, poor Death, nor yet canst thou kill me.
And there's chores. And there's so many colors I can't even pronounce. The colors keep on coming. They stacking up in a pile. These colors will never stop. Some colors you can smell. Some colors you can stroke. Some colors sprinkle down. Some colors think for themselves. Some colors aren't what you think. Some colors don't begin or end. Some colors can't abide. Some colors try too hard. Tonight, on Nothing to See Here, radio colors.
Colors.
Colors that can only be seen
Colors.
on a radio.
Colors. Colors. Colors.
Blue.
Blue is concerned with its own existence. I mean, who wouldn't be? It's really normal in that aspect.
Turquoise.
Similar, but different. More self-aware.
Very unreliable.
Too chill. Yeah.
Light green.
Oh my god.
Bright green's, less fortunate cousin. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue-gray.
Tense. Very, very tense.
But like relaxing at the same time, maybe?
Make up your mind.
Is it a warm gray or a cold gray? It's a warm gray.
It's kind of a clay.
A clay.
Gray.
Clay gray.
Great.
Gray.
Great.
Owl.
Brown.
Rich. Wealthy. Earthy. Dark.
Yeah.
But not too dark.
Orange.
Doesn't go good with toast.
Not in my experience.
No.
One time, tried to have a drink with orange, and well, let's just say that the night didn't end well.
Orange tries too hard to be red. Orange has been jealous of red for a long, long time, and just can't quite get it. Maybe someday.
Sore loser cannot take losing, just like at all. Breaking the tennis racket, kicking the TV, throwing the Wii out the window, everything. Just hilarious. Sore loser.
Unemployment purple.
Well, I mean, I guess like the biggest shocker about unemployment purple is that they've been gainfully employed for the last 12 years now as the decals on a NASCAR race car belonging to his name is Daryl Vandergraaf, first Bavarian to race in the NASCAR league. Actually got into a fight with Chirk Gimpley. That's how he made his name for himself, and I believe it was unemployment purple, that came in there, and really, put Chirk out of commission. And that's how he got his job.
I painted my son's bedroom unemployment purple as a really passive-aggressive sort of a hint to, nudge him. 33 years old and still living downstairs. He didn't pick up on the hint, needless to say.
I just, don't understand why I came home one day and my room was just purple.
Unemployment purple.
Unemployment purple at that. Yeah, my mom she's really annoying sometimes.
Jonathan, what are you gonna do with your life?
Mom, just leave me alone, okay? Just, come on.
Spanish pickle red.
Designated. Like a Monday night in the brush.
Halt!
Stickers in this room are this color. I'm currently wearing a halter top that is this color.
When I envision the flames that will engulf the the stock market, and all that down in New York, I envision them as pickle peppered Spanish red.
Think sinking. Think sinking really, really deep as you are floating higher and higher up. This is truly the essence of this color.
Dirt silver.
Dirt cheap. Dirt silver. Gotta pick up some of that silver. Dirt silver. Silver hiding in the dirt. Dirt silver. In the dust. In the mud. Where are you hiding? You never show up on time for anything.
Dirt silver. Dirt silver. It's actually the name of my adult film actor alter ego.
Dirt silver isn't quite appreciated the same way that shiny silver is appreciated.
I think that's gonna start changing soon.
But not until we educate our children about this.
About dirt silver.
Dirt silver.
And its values.
Dirt silver. Where do you think silver comes from anyway, huh? Doesn't just the opposite of vaporize. Up here. You mine it from the ground. Dirt.
Pretty sure silver comes from my parents.
Make your bets. Dirt silver. We got crusty sand. Make your bets. Horses on their marks. Make your bets.
That's not how it works.
I thought this was an auction.
Jonathan, you can't even bet on horses. What are you gonna do with your life?
Okay, Mom.
It's Unleashing granular horses, bracing, feel their sweat, feel their veins. I've been up close with this one. This one's a winner.
You can tell it's good because of its giant testicles.
Spleen yellow.
Like a canary, like an eye crust, like a mystery game show, like sludge, like a slight hum, like a bludgeon, like caustic, like granular, like itching, like brief, like consuming, like careful, like whimsy, it's like the swelling face of a dog that you remember from your childhood. Winsome, whimsy. Yellow is that kind of yellow is very awake.
It's the color of my son Jonathan's teeth. You know how much I paid for him to go see that goddamn orthodontist? I know they're for straightening out teeth, not whitening them. Could have put that money in a college fund, not that it would have made a difference. Right, Jonathan?
Mom, just leave me alone, okay? Come on. You know, it's kind of comforting, really, because it's a part of me. It's inside of me, deep down. In my spleen. It's something I can relate to. Something that we can all relate to as humans. It really brings us together. Spleen yellow. Spleen yellow. Spleen yellow. Spleen yellow. I think that if we all spent more time thinking about spleen yellow, spleen yellow, spleen yellow, spleen yellow, that society would be a better place.
Like, I know we're not the government, but when we project spleen yellow up into the sky, we want one thing from you, and you guys have seen the posters, so you know what that is, okay? So when we get that light up there, daytime, nighttime, dusk, dawn, you know what to do.
When I picture all the bloated faces and near exploded bodies of all those Wall Street bankers who have been engulfed by pickled pepper red flames, I see them as spleen yellow.
Spleen yellow, spleen yellow, spleen yellow.
Hey, you ever think that magma has ghosts? Because I imagine if magma had ghosts, it would be this color.
Half black.
Gives you that feeling, you know, smoke 'em if you got 'em. We've tailored this signal to be half black.
It sucks.
Gray. I mean, what's the other half? See, I just assumed the other half was white. What does that say? Jeez. What does that say?
The only soap I use is half black soap.
What does that say? A penguin? A panda? Something that's half black and half a different color? Both of those were half white and black. Why is it the only pairing of?
Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
A butterfly told me there's 7 colors to a rainbow. And I said, yeah. What the hell do they know?
We continue now with the color broken white.
Now, broken white's quite interesting, because it isn't white at all. It's the opposite in terms of it's not light, it's not dark, it's a spectrum unknown to humankind. We can't even conceptualize it.
You know that the mantis shrimp, they're these fascinating deep sea creature, very, very colorful with lots of appendages and addendums and I know the word. Anyway, I'm a scientist, by the way. But the mantis shrimp, their spectrum of vision is so much greater than that which humans can perceive, and colors that we can't even conceptualize, such as the aforementioned broken white, which is not white at all, of course, but represents an entire spectrum within a spectrum of spectrums, spectrally speculating what we can't see. Amazing stuff.
Amazing stuff.
Eyebrow teal.
Eyebrow teal is like when you take all of the mascots of the NBA and the NFL and you put them in a blender, and these are with the people inside, and you put that on high and you wait and
I remember when he was in high school one day, Jonathan came home. He'd dyed his hair. He thought he was going to be so cool. Maybe he could be one of the popular kids or a punk rocker or something or other. Anyway, it was supposed to be teal. He dyed his eyebrows too to make it look more natural. That's what he told me. It was more of a nightmare than a teal.
You see those teenagers and they're walking around, they got those teal eyebrows. You know what they're trying to sell.
Yeah, so there's this whole trend of eyebrow teal, and I heard it wrong, and I shaved my eyebrows into the shapes of seals, and I don't know how it went so wrong.
Sickening, that's what it is.
Truth be told, I've been blind since birth. I've just been making things up.
U.S. Army Pink.
Sergeant Brittany McAdams reporting for duty. Okay, so I'm just here to talk about stereotypes and breaking them, alright? Okay? I actually don't know anything about the Army, but I thought I'd jump in, feet first or head first or whichever way is more impressive. I just think that it's really important that everybody remembers that just because I talk a certain way and maybe wear certain colors or express my personality in certain ways doesn't mean I'm not intelligent, strong, or brave. Right? Wearing camel pink. Yeah, that's right. Not camel pink. Camo, as in flage. Pink. Camo, as in flage. Pink. Pink. Camo. Flage.
Before I joined the Army, I thought brains were pink. And then I got my best mates all over my pants. It was beige and salty.
There's a pink smoke emitted from most modern freighter cruiser ships. That pink smoke is supposed to disguise us from various media campaigns that we have going on in the Indian Sea right now, and that pink smoke looks really weird when it's out of the Indian Sea, but when it's in there...
Army pink is actually, you might hear it used as a synonym for fear, and there's a reason for that. The sight of it strikes fear into anyone who sees it. Just anybody. Just trust me. Just flash a card of Army pink at your loved ones and watch them just run away immediately.
Tests have shown that Army pink is not just a color, but a weapon.
When I finally got my release papers, they had all signed their names in pink.
And he showed up in the cafeteria and he whips out this pink cue card, and everyone's just looking at him, and then he used it.
And now, on Nothing to See Here, we present radio colors that you can't see. On the radio are many colors that are not visible. They have special names and special properties. Tonight we will explain some of these new radio colors. This one is called Special Grong.
1 2 test, testing 1 2 1 2 test. We get a test.
Special Gran is like
the feeling you get mid-morning,
at 10 a.m. coffee break, and it's nearing the end, and you're just pulling up into that
the second Tuesday of the shortest month
lavatory, and you're just dropping your slacks.
Year. Well, that's always going to be February, isn't it?
That's
at least what I associate it with.
It's not quite beautiful, but
that's when we met.
Really puts things into perspective.
I'd never seen eyes that colored before.
People say I'm boring, and maybe I am, but I think the name of this color is misleading. It's not so special at all. It does nothing for me.
I mean, no one has. And they won't. Ever.
I think of it, and it brings me no joy. I tried to see it, but I just can't. What's the point? I don't understand.
Right, so when he walked in, laid down Special Gran on the wall, I said, that's a number 1 color.
You know what's cool about Special Gran? Special Gran is so fucking cool. It's like deep. Special Gran is so deep. It's like that feeling you get when you look at your reflection for so long, you don't even see your face anymore. You don't even understand what your face is. It's like, is that my face, or is that something else reflected in the mirror.
Who the fuck knows?
Special grand. Weird. It's like deep.
Flat twinge.
I belong to it in a sense.
It's that feeling you get in your elbow when you biologically have a condition that makes such that your certain nerves are very close to the surface of your skin. I personally suffer from this, and both of my funny bones are very accessible. Ow! It's not really painful. Ow! It's just like it's a twinge. That's the only way to explain. One of them's worse than the other. I recognize it's making me very vulnerable to be sharing this right now, but that color and that feeling are synonymous with my synapses.
We here at the Rexler Corporation have been studying the twinge now for several years, and we have determined that it is psychosomatic. It is all in their mind. There is no frequency known as the twinge. So we have devised a strong regimen of electroshock therapy and isolation as the best cure.
I don't care how many times they try to shock me, I keep seeing the twinge. It just appears. I can't describe it really. It's kind of like those lingering headaches. You know, the free-floating anxiety. It's there. It's just there. And oh, there's another shock. Yeah, no, okay. I still see the twinge.
Now, one thing we have noticed, every time one of the subjects reports seeing the twinge, a pizza is delivered. So far, not necessarily a particularly useful power, but I'm sure we will figure out a way to militarize it someday.
Well, my pizza store is doing great for business.
Now, the human eye cannot detect flat twinge. However, the wombat animal model tells us that some animals have adapted to use flat twinge to detect the rads released from certain twigs, and then use that to make their nest.
Yeah, I'd eat a wombat.
Wombat makes the pizza nice and gritty.
That's what they used to call me back in middle school. I moved to New York City when I was 12 years old. And, well, my name's Angela, and I hadn't developed as early as the other girls. So they called me flat, and I have this accent they called it twang.
And twang. Flat twinge.
It's a nightmare. I still have nightmares about it.
Guess how many finish lines there will be in your beautiful life? Life is a process. All of it. There are lots of finish lines. Not just one. We get to start new climbs. New races. Every day. Some days we are moving forward effortlessly. Some days we feel like we're sliding backward. It's all good and it's all necessary. Watch for the gifts found in the setbacks and decide that every day is a brand new day. You get to start over as many times as you want. You are so very loved.
I think we're gonna see the whole rainbow.
Wow.
Over there, where those telephone poles are.
I think we're gonna go through the rainbow. Let's go.
Okay.
We're gonna follow the rainbow.
We're gonna find the pot of gold.
I don't think we've ever seen the end of the rainbow, and I think we're gonna see it.
Butterfly told me there's 7 colors to a rainbow. I said, yeah, what the hell do they know? When there's orange and blue, and they can touch their cameras too. Check it out. Forget all the names of those tugboats, but there's yellow ones, and green ones, and blue ones, and brown ones, and violet ones, and ochre ones, and teal ones, and salmon ones. Hey! Butterfly told me there's 7 colors to a rainbow. I said, yeah, what the hell do they know? When there's orange and blue, and they can touch their cameras too. Check it out, forget all the names of those tugboats, but there's yellow ones, and green ones, and violet ones, and blue ones, and gold ones, and black ones, and silver ones, and beige ones, and white ones. Hey! Butterfly told me the streets are paved gold in heaven. I said, yeah, what the hell do they know? When there's orange and blue, and they can touch their cameras too. Check it out, forget all the names of those tugboats, but there's silver ones, and green ones, and white ones, and orange ones, and purple ones, and violet ones, and teal ones, and ochre ones. Hey! Butterfly told me there's 7 rainbow. I said, yeah, what the hell do they know? When there's orange and blue, and they can touch their cameras too.
You have been listening to Nothing to See Here, experimental radio from NSCAD University in Halifax. This episode was called A Butterfly Told Me. It was inspired by the song A Butterfly Told Me by Mitchell Weeb, performed by Soaking Up Jagged. This episode was performed by Gemma Leslie, Jessica McDonald, Raph McDonald, Mark Hines, and David Clark. Nothing to See Here is produced by David Clark at NSCAD University. Sound mixing by David Clark. This episode also included sound collages from the Winter 2017 Media Toolbox class at NSCAD University. For more episodes of Nothing to See Here, please search for Nothing to See Here Radio on SoundCloud.com.